Good morning, dogs. You excited, Anna? You're gonna chase your buddy. Well, you guys have been asking for it. Let's do an updated machinery tour. I'm gonna walk through here a little bit and just give you guys some of the updates as far as what we have for machinery right now, what's changed, what we're gonna be running this fall during harvest, because I know a lot of you have been asking, and I think people are just genuinely curious. First, let's get some natural light in here. Every good filmmaker knows the value of proper lighting. Are you ready? You ready to do this? All right, we'll just start in this corner and start with item number 1. This is the John Deere 6175R. This was the first tractor that I purchased. This is technically my first tractor right here. I bought it a few years ago. If I remember right, it's a 2018. I bought it a year or two old with a few hundred hours on it, so it was used, but not too used. 175 engine horse, obviously the 6000 series frame, so it's big enough to do things like rock picking. We pull a big box blade in the yard for it. We do a lot of odd job stuff with this. It's got the loader on it. We use the loader quite a bit. It's kind of like an all-around, all-purpose, like for lack of a better term, it's a utility tractor out here on a larger farm. Didge, where'd you go for a little bit there? Find some kind of an adventure to go on? Welcome, Anna. Jeez. Up next, we got a utility piece here. This is the Mendeco Storm. This one actually is new. We haven't even used it yet. We haven't even put the baskets on. We've got a little bit of assembly to do here before fall work. What we really like this for, this is what you'd call a vertical tillage tool or a VT tool. It chops residue up really, really well without doing deep tillage. Doesn't go down deep and disturb the root system from the old crop. It just tears up the top of the soil and levels it off really nice. Chews things up into smaller bits so that they can decompose. It's one of many tillage tools in our tillage toolbox. Okay, 9570 RT. I don't remember what year this is, maybe a 20, somewhere in there. This is also one of my tractors. This one was bought a few years after the 6175. This is my second 9570 RT. This is our main big tillage tractor. This is our big horse. This does the heavy duty work. So this will pull the field cultivator in the spring and it will pull the ripper in the fall. We can pull the VT disc with it as well, but usually we put the ripper on, use it as our primary tillage to till under the corn stalks. We really like the 2-track system. We have run the 4 tracks, the RXs. They're nice, but I'm a fan of the 2-track system. There's less moving pieces than the 4 tracks. And when it comes to tracks versus tires are great. They definitely have their place, especially depending on what soil types you're in and what you're pulling. But for us out here, bigger fields, compaction can be an issue. I just really like the big 2-track machines. That's what I like. Next piece, 9570R. So this has the same engine as the 2-track back there, but this is an articulate. So this is a really large horse, large frame horse, 9000 series, similar frame to like an RX or a 4-track system, but this has got the big duals on it. It's got 800 metric duals, so a lot of rubber all around on this big boy. This will do everything that the 2-track 9570 RT will do. We will do, obviously, pull field cultivator with it sometimes. It'll pull a ripper. It will pull the VT tool. It will pull the Wishick disc that we have. It'll pull whatever we want. And this is Dad's piece, so this is one of his tractors. We kind of mix and match like I think a lot of farms do. I own some stuff, he owns some stuff. It's tough. You know, it's like the up-and-coming generation can't just stroke a check and buy the farm out in one shot. First off, that would be extremely difficult for the up-and-coming younger generation to do. It would also be really foolish for the older generation that's getting out because the tax bill on that'd be a horrible strategy. In most situations. I'm sure there are some times when that's probably a perfectly fine idea, but not in ours. On that note, I just want to say, like I said in one of the previous videos when we brought the combine home, I want to say, you know, what happens on this farm is not the same as what happens on other farms. So please don't look at what we have going on here and judge your neighbor's farm or your farm, your brother's farm, your uncle's farm, your cousin's farm, whatever. Farms are all different. Different shapes and sizes, different geographies, different local economics. Everybody's situation is so different. Our farm, this farm here, has been in the family for 155, 156 years now. I am the 6th generation, my kids potentially the 7th. Inside the 9570 RT here, pretty, you know, John Deere cab. Pretty similar to the 6175. Pretty much identical to that 9570, they're just built on different frames. But I will admit, there is just something cool about sitting in a big articulating tractor like this. No, sorry Anna, I'm not gonna fire this one up right now either. I'll fire the Moline, should we do that? Let's go fire up my favorite one. That's back here, behind the camper. 1971 Minneapolis Moline G750. It is the exact same tractor as an Oliver 1655, but this was before they started painting them green. Dad bought this tractor in the late 70s, so he has owned this thing for over 40 years. He used to plant with this thing with a 4-row case cyclo planter. When I was a baby, this is what he was planting with, and we've still got it on the farm here today. Kind of similar to the 6175. It's kind of like an all-purpose general utility stuff we do around the farm now. It has a bucket much larger than the 6175, so that's nice for when somebody spills grain in the yard, you got to shovel it up into a bucket and get it back into the hopper. Otherwise, I remember Dad using this thing to clean up trees when I was a kid. Anything and everything. This tractor's always been around, been pretty trusty. All right, I'll start this one up for you, Anna. This one sounds the coolest anyway. Pull a little choke here. This is a gas model. Also a fun fact, this thing has had 2 buildings fall down on top of it. Got a little ding in the hood there from 2 massive buildings coming down in a couple of different storms. Also, that tack has done that since I was a little kid. I remember Dad feeding cattle with this tractor and watching that needle spin around like that. In my mind, I have a dilemma frequently. I would kind of love to restore this tractor and make it all shiny and beautiful again. But I'd also kind of like to just leave it original because it's useful. We use it, and original is cool too. Before we get moved to the back of the shed here, I'm gonna go grab a drink. It is hot out, and I drink at least 1 can of Element every day. I've talked about Element before. You don't have to drink the carbonated cans. I just like them. They're handy. I keep them in the fridge. They're delicious, and they're refreshing in the middle of a hot day. So if you're a real farmer and not just a YouTube farmer like me, trying to show everybody your equipment, if you're actually out there working on a hot day, working with cattle or any kind of livestock, maybe you're vaccinating bison. That'd be cool. Maybe you're taking care of irrigators and you got another stupid flat tire on a stupid irrigator. You're out sweating like crazy, you got to replace your electrolytes. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. All the stuff you need to replace your electrolytes, feel better, get rid of the brain fog, and it's just refreshing. I recommend trying some for yourself. Go to drinkelement.com/farmer and you can pick out your free sample pack for yourself and decide what flavor is best for you. They've got tons and tons of flavors. They even have ones that go really well with like coffee or by themselves in the winter if you want to drink them hot. Anyway, check it out. And of course, as always, they have a no questions asked return policy. So if for some weird reason you don't like them, they're gonna just refund your money, no questions asked. Up next, 410R John Deere sprayer. We did a few upgrades to this thing. It does not have the See and Spray. We pretty much always are putting on a residual herbicide. And so for us in our situation, we did not go with the See and Spray model. So this is a standard sprayer as far as that goes. It does have exact apply. So when you go around the corners and stuff, the inside nozzles are slowing way down to make sure they're putting on a proper rate, and the outside nozzles will speed up because they're making a bigger arc. They actually need to be putting on more water as you go. So it knows the speed of each individual nozzle. In fact, the nozzles themselves each have software in them. So Deere came out, Midwest Machinery, our local dealer, was out this spring and updated the software in the nozzles on our sprayer. I didn't know that until this spring. This thing is bad to the bone. We love this thing. Dad ends up running it way more often than I do, which I am fine with because I don't mind standing out in the sun and mixing chemicals. But this has been kind of a game changer for us. There are so many really nice upgrades and so much technology on these new machines. It's been pretty awesome. Plus, it's really comfortable, easy to use. There's a lot of buttons here. It's got your fighter pilot stick. We've got the double screens in it so we can see whatever we need to see. Got leather seats in it, heating and cooling, everything you need. I don't know if Dad knows, but it's got the massaging seat too. Massaging seat thing seems kind of silly, but sit in a tractor for 10 hours and then turn that on, and you'll like it. This thing scoots pretty good down the road too, especially empty, so you can cover a lot of ground with this thing even if you're not chasing it with the water trailer. 120-foot boom, which matches us well because we've got a 60-foot planter and a 30-foot corn header. It's got a 1,000-gallon tank. Sometimes, yeah, it would be nice to have a larger tank, but this was the used machine that the dealer had in that was a good machine for us. That was the one thing we wanted, was a little bit bigger tank, but when you find the machine that's right, you kind of got to roll with it. So this is what we got, and it does well for us. 332G John Deere skid loader. Heavy enough for us, does well. Probably looking at updating it fairly soon here. Polaris Razor 200, EFI, Troy Lee design. Kids love it. My baby, Scottsdale 20. This is a 1975. Bought it on a local auction. Couldn't tell you much about it other than somebody relatively locally put some money into it and restored it. I bought it on an online auction, as I said, and I just love cruising around in it. When I was in China on the All-American ping pong team, I just loved playing ping pong with my Flexo-Lite ping pong paddle. Onto the planter. John Deere Exact Emerge. This is a 60-footer. We got it stocked from the factory, we got it from the factory with the Susi tracks on it. So we had Susi tracks on our old planter. Really loved them. It is now a factory option. We put those on. We've got the Exact Emerge, as I said. So this has a high-speed brush belt system. It's got bowls. I call them bowls instead of plates. It's got a belt that carries the seed down. This is what people would refer to as the 10-mile-an-hour planter. And I'm telling you, I promise you, it is every bit as accurate as they say. It's actually more accurate at 10 miles an hour than it is at 5 or 6. But 10 miles an hour there, again, is scooting pretty fast. I get a little bit uncomfortable at 10 miles an hour, so I tend to spend a lot of time around 8.5, maybe 9. If rain's coming and we have to finish a field, maybe, 12, 13. We were just getting the process started of cleaning this thing out the other day, got interrupted, but we will take these row units out, blow them out with air, pull out the fingers here. We will take the tension off the belt, kind of clean everything out. This also has the fertilizer system on it called Exact Shot. So this is the system that actually fires only the seed if you want it to. Now you can put down a straight rate with it, and I did for quite a bit of our acres this year, but it will also shoot only the seed, and you can adjust that, if you want a 2-inch shot, a 3, 4, 5, or a continuous rate shot, whatever you want to do with it. Absolutely love this planter. Being able to get the speed and the accuracy out of it has been really efficient for us. 1775 NT is the model number on the planter. We've had it for 2 years now. We're going to keep it next year again. It'll be our 3rd year on it. And we are going to pull it probably again with this 8RT 410. Another tractor of mine here. Bought this thing a year and a half ago about. Didn't have a ton of hours on it, but it was used. We'll get to the only brand new thing that's ever been bought with an engine on it on this farm in a little bit. But 8RT 410, it's got all the bells and whistles. I really like this tractor. It is really comfortable. There again, I'm a fan of the 2-track system, especially for planting. Being able to back into the corners with this thing is so much handier than a standard machine. But I understand there are advantages to tires as well. I really like the 2 tracks, particularly for what we do with this tractor, which is mostly planting and pulling the grain cart. So pulling the grain cart with this thing, we went from I think it was a 335 horse up to a 410. Made a huge difference with the big grain cart that we pull. The tracks are awesome. And it's a comfortable tractor. These cabs just get better and better and better. Now this one is a little bit newer. This is, I'm pretty sure, a 22. So this is probably the newest machine we had on this farm until we got the combine last week. Leather seats again, heating, cooling, massage. I've got the big screens in here. I believe these are called the Gen 5 screens from Deere. So I run 2 screens because with all the information coming in with the planter, it's nice to have everything up so you don't have to toggle between pages. All the heating and air conditioning you need for planting in the spring when it's getting hot out, and pulling grain cart in the fall when it's getting cold out. Someone overfilled the def, made a little bit of a mess right there. I'll track them down and have a talk. Back over this direction. As we come in here, I'll just start here again. Here's our J&M 1732 series grain cart. I believe we have had this for 4 seasons now. We've got the big tracks on it. When we first got the tracks on the first grain cart we had, we were a little concerned they would pull harder. I'm convinced they pull easier because the cart does not sink at all when it is loaded full. It saves so much on compaction. I know tracks, they cost a lot of money. They do exactly what they're supposed to do. They are so nice. The grain cart is a no-brainer to me around here on our soils for having tracks, especially once you get up to this size and you're hauling this volume of bushels. We can fit about 15, 16, 1700 bushels on here, so over a truck and a half on this cart, kind of depending on a lot of circumstances, how the grain is and all of that. But it does take some power to pull it. We can pull it around the yard with this 8295. But we're not going to pull it in the field at that. Not if you fully load it and you have any sort of an incline at all, it won't do it. Things I love about this grain cart, it's got that corner auger. So it's a dual auger system. It pulls the grain to the front into the corner auger, and the corner auger comes forward. So you don't have to look quite so far back like you do on most grain carts that are built this large in this style. It's also a longer grain cart and not as tall. We did not put the tall sideboards on it to get it up to 2,300 bushels. 1700 is big enough for us. We like the low profile. The combine can see down into it better. You've got more clearance with the unload auger and the combine if you're going through any washouts or anything like that. We had this thing for 4 harvests. I am going to let you in on a little something though. There is something new, something very new on the way. If you're interested, watch towards the end of August here. Maybe come see me down at Farm Progress Show at the J&M tent. Just saying. That'll be down in Decatur, Illinois. On that note, there's another farm show here in just a few days on August 5th. Morgan, Minnesota Farm Fest. That's kind of Minnesota's farm show. I've been going there since I was a little kid. I'm going to be moderating a panel on how artificial intelligence is changing agriculture. We're going to have some good guests there. It'll be in the WIC building at 9:30 a.m. Hopefully we'll see some of you there. I'm going to be doing a meet and greet after that for those who want to come up and shake my hand or spit on my foot, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Come say your piece. Tell me what you got to say. Come meet me. And then that afternoon, I'm actually going to be running a skid loader in the skid steer rodeo. So come cheer me on for that. Or boo me, whatever. Show up and have fun. Okay, John Deere 8295. This is one of Dad's tractors. Little bit of, I guess, a do-everything tractor again. There again, it does pull the grain cart really well for us in the yard. So we will load this grain cart a lot of times so that it's preloaded and we can load trucks out faster in the yard, especially in the winter when we've got a lot of ice and snow conditions. This gets around a lot better than a 2-track system. Normally in the field we're pulling this grain cart with the 410 RT, but in the yard these tires it's a better place for them. All standard in here. It's got the older monitor, not old but older, you know, the previous version. Anyway, let's start it up. I haven't started enough things yet. Not the same sound as the Minneapolis Moline, but still fun. We'll just go right past this machine for now. I'll take you over to the 9870. This is Dad's combine here. We've had this one for quite a while. It's a great combine. We've got 710 duals on it. It's got the bigger rear tires. This machine has done a lot of good for us. We really like this machine. A little bit older, but not old. It's a 2011, a late 2011, so just before the S-Series started. It's butted up here next to the corn header. This is a C12F corn header, so it's a folding header. It does have the chopping knives on it, so full chopping header. It's got the built-in stock stompers. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's got row sensors down here. Again, another product that we really like. We're really happy with it. We've run two or three falls on this header now. The 9870 here, we pretty much only do soybeans with it. We used to do corn with it back when it was our main machine. We've owned this thing for, I bet 10 years now. When it was our main machine, we did a lot of corn with it, but now it's kind of our secondary machine. So we do beans with it, and but it is capable, certainly more than capable of doing corn as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Usually, it's pretty rare for a combine to be dead around here, but I found one. It hasn't moved in a few months, so understandable. That is the weird thing about combines. You invest so much into them and you only use them for 4 to 6 weeks a year. So it's a weird thing like that, but pretty necessary for my line of business. This is our current bean header, John Deere 740 FD, so it's 40 feet long. Flex draper, it's got the draper belts, and we did put a Crary wind system on it. We really like these wind systems under certain conditions. When everything is perfect, they're still helping a little bit, but where they really shine is if you've got crop that is knocked over or leaning a certain direction, or you just got difficult situations, maybe short soybeans. A lot of times we'll get soybeans that are not tall in the poor spots, and they still got pods that go all the way to the bottom. And the best way to get those things in the header is to blow them in there and force them onto that belt so that they go through the machines. Other farmers know how frustrating it is to watch soybeans build up on the cutter bar and then they tip forward the wrong direction and they don't fall in there. So wind system really helps for that. I'll let you guys in on another little secret. We may have a new header coming this fall. This one is going to stick around, but we do have a 740. I believe it's a 740 is the number they still use. It's a Hydroflex new John Deere header that is going to be coming. Excited to run that thing, and I'm going to be putting it on the new S7 800 combine right here. This just showed up the other day. We put the 800 metric duals on it again. Actually, we took these exact tires from our last combine, just moved them over onto this one, which before that they came from the combine before that. So this is our third combine with the same tires on it. Got the bigger tires in the back. Those are 750s. S7 800, so it is a new series. So it has all the new screens. It's got the new tailboard in here. It's got bigger cleaning capacity. As far as all the little details on it yet, I don't know exactly because I haven't, obviously it hasn't been in the field yet. I do know it's got the automation to control the grain quality. So once you set your parameters and say you're happy with the grain quality, it will do its best to adjust things automatically for you to keep the grain clean and keep your any losses that acceptable within an acceptable level, and it's all programmed by you. So once you say this is what I'm happy with, stay in this range, it'll do that. But the biggest thing I'm excited about are these cameras up here. These are going to look down into the crop and predict as you're driving forward. They're going to be looking at things like the amount of stover, the amount of crop or plant that's going to be coming in, and they're going to be layering that with a predictive yield that comes from satellite imagery throughout the season. So there's going to be layers of data coming into this thing along with actual camera information to say, hey, this is how much grain we think is about to come in this machine in the next 50, 100, 150 feet. And then it's going to predict the speed that it can handle that. And the reason for doing that, the big benefit to it, is because you can keep this machine full. And that does two things. First off, when the machine is full, it does a better job. It's designed to be full and still clean that grain. So it wants to be full. That's the best way to run a machine. That's the best way to get a good grain quality. However, there are ups and downs throughout the fields, especially like for us this year with all the rain we've had. We're gonna have spots where the corn is short and it's 2 weeks behind, it's higher moisture, it's lower test weight. There's probably not gonna be as much stock coming in, as much leaf tissue in that. So it's gonna predict all that, and it's going to adjust the combine speed. So when you get to a spot like that, it's gonna speed up to force in more bushels per hour and get the throughput number up to try to keep that throughput number as high as it can handle, obviously to a point before it can't do a good job anymore because it's too full. So efficiency wise, I think it's gonna be huge once we get everything set up and you click the buttons, whatever you gotta do. Again, I haven't done it yet, but it's gonna maintain, instead of maintaining a consistent speed, it's gonna maintain a consistent throughput, which means the speed's gonna go up and down. It's gonna be better quality and way more efficient, because an operator can't sit in here for 14 hours and speed up and slow down depending on grain quality. It doesn't happen that way. This machine's gonna be able to predict it a lot better than any operator could. At least over a period of time, after several hours, or while you're dumping into the grain cart. That's another thing. If you sync this machine up with the grain cart and you've got the two synced, this thing can adjust its speed automatically and the grain cart will follow. So you don't have to worry about maintaining a consistent speed to stay in a certain spot in the cart. It just machine syncs they machine sync to each other and they follow each other through the field, around the corners, through the draws, whatever. Is all this latest and greatest technology really that fantastic? Is it needed? Is it 100% necessary? Maybe not, but there certainly are things like that that drastically increase efficiency and make things a lot easier for the operators. There again, just because we have a new machine sitting in here, please don't judge your farm or anybody else's farm based off of ours. Every operation is different. Everyone's unique individual situation in life is different. And I admit, and I never take for granted the fact that I'm very lucky to have this opportunity to farm out here like I do. I wouldn't want to do anything else. On top of that, I got you guys that join me all the time for what I'm doing out here. I get to talk to hundreds of thousands of people and show them what happens on family farms. Pretty cool. Thunder Creek fuel trailer might have some custom graphics on this thing that you don't see on a lot of them. Other than that, the options are the options that they offer. We've got the upgraded wheels. We've got a toolbox and a welder back here. Let me just open this up. So we've got all kinds of storage room in here. Toolbox, welder, generator, air compressor, all the things we need. We got a vise in there. We've got solar charger on top. We've got a big light tower here. Fuel pumps in here. We've got 100 gallons of DEF up front with another smaller toolbox. We don't run a service truck anymore. We have a dually pickup loaded down with some stuff that pulls this bad boy, and between those two things, we've got what we need. So we don't have to run a service truck and a fuel trailer. We run it all in one. Polaris Ranger, great for odd jobs. This is the 1500 XD. This is a heavy duty, big bad boy. It's got what you want, more than what you need. All the bells and whistles, once again, air conditioning, heat, windshield wipers, GPS, you name it. And some people will say, oh, but why don't you just buy a pickup? Well, it's because then you got another pickup. You can do all kinds of stuff with this that I don't need another pickup. But if you want to buy another pickup instead of a Polaris Ranger XD 1500, go ahead. Kenworth T800, we have two of these machines. They are identical. They're actually only a couple of serial numbers apart from each other. They've got C15s in them. They're not cranked up, but they do have C15s. And any C15 in my mind is awesome. Yeah, you guys have seen the trucks. These are 2006s, I'm almost certain. Identical trucks. We like the T800s because they're light, so we can put more bushels in the hopper and still be legal. They turn well in and out of approaches. They're not overly fancy. They do the job and they do it well. The reason we have sleeper cabs, because they're cheaper. Used sleeper cabs are cheaper than day cabs. Day cabs are cool. These are cheaper. Timpty hoppers. We've got 3 of these. Also identical. We traded our last 3 at the same time, so we've got 3 Timpty hoppers that are all identical. That's Tiggy. This is Isla's favorite cat. He's a fun cat. He's a good hunter. He spends a lot of time down on the farm. Shuka, shuka, shuka. Timpty trailers are 40 foot. They're not extra tall because we don't have sunflowers. We're not hauling light grain. Corn and soybeans basically is what we're hauling. So these 40 foot low-sided hopper bottoms do the job for us. They seem to be the best size. Fill them pretty full. Even on years where we have light test weight corn, you can still get a full load in there. Are you enjoying that sun, Tiggy? We've got the Woods Batwing, we've got the chisel plow, we've got a ripper back there. We've got an old Tebben ripper back there. We've got a Wishick disc and another John Deere 2730 ripper on the other side. We've got the field cultivator. We've got all the tillage tools, but I feel like this video is probably already about 2 hours long. Got the Peterbilt. That's got a PACCAR engine in it. It's fine. Does what we need it to. Not as exciting as the C15s in my eyes. Dash trailer right here, game changer for us. Holds about 7,000 gallons of water between the 2 big tanks on the front and on the back. It's got 4 inductors. We can gravity fill out of those 2. We can put another 1 or 2 down there, which there is one there, and pump that through. It's all run by air. We can fit a couple more up here if we need to. Hook them up there. Got your Bluetooth speaker, so on a sunny day like this, if Dad's out spraying and I'm here mixing, I can listen to whatever I want to listen to. And you can pile up your jugs, your AMS bags, whatever down in this cage. Throw your empty boxes and whatever down in here. It's not going to blow away when you go down the road. Got the big pump on it, moves a lot of water. We can load the sprayer, which holds 1,000 gallons if we wanted to, I feel like we could load that thing in about a minute and a half. We normally load it slower because we're mixing in so many different products anyway. But this does everything we need it to do and more. Another product that we're extremely happy with. All right, I'm starting to feel like I have used up this SD card for now, and I've given you guys enough information. This is probably longer than what you want to watch. Let me know what questions you have, if you want me to elaborate on any specific machines, or if you want me to go around and talk about the tillage and the different trailers and show a little bit more. Let me know what you want to see, and I could do another video like this. It's easy enough for me this time of year when we're not out using everything. It's a good video to make. So in the meantime, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. There, you can update your farm simulators now with the exact machines we're going to be running this fall. All right, see you later.